Hello, in this video, I want to introduce you to 15 cards that came out before Spider-Man that would be good with Cosmic Spider-Man. I didn't want to go over cards that came out in Spider-Man because then I'd just be telling you to play all of the best Spider-Man, and that's not a very interesting video. I also want to start out by saying that if you're playing on Arena Scions of the Earth Spider, a lot of these cards are available for that deck as well. And first up, I have Realmwalker. It's a shapeshifter changeling, so it's every creature type. You choose Spider, and you can look at the top card of your library, and you can place spiders from the top of your deck. Because these kind of decks typically are focused on just playing all of the best typal, kindred, spider cards, you need to have card draw, and this is an illusion type of card draw that lets you play from the top of your library. Next up, I have Shelob Dread Weaver for 4 mana. It's a 3/3 spider demon from Lord of the Rings, commander. Whenever a non-token creature and opponent dies, exile it, so it gets it, they can't reanimate it. For 2 and a black, you can put a creature card into its owner's graveyard, you put 2++ counters on it, and draw a card, which is great flexibility to have on a creature. Or you can pay X, 1 and a black, to put a creature card with mana value X or less onto the battlefield tapped under your control. So not only is this a spider that would get the flying, first strike, trample, lifelink, and haste, it gives you access to card draw. It gets bigger, which is only better with first strike, trample, flying, haste, and flying. I said flying twice. And you can also reanimate things. Black Market Connections can give us access to ramp while being on theme. For 3 mana, it's an enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose 1 or more. Create a treasure. There's your ramp. You lose a life. Draw a card. You lose 2 life. Or you can make a 3/2 shapeshifter. You lose 3 life. But in this deck, we're going to be gaining a significant amount of life, having all of our spiders have lifelink and flying and trample. They're just going to be dealing damage, and you're going to be able to gain, 6+ life back while getting treasures, while drawing cards, and while making more spiders. Morophon is another spider. You would choose spider, and then spells of the chosen type you cast cost white, blue, black, red, green, or a Warburg less to cast. So now all of your deck, because you're probably going to play mostly spiders, I'm even going to introduce you some ramp pieces later in the video that are also Spider-Man, so stick around. And it gives a buff to all of your spiders +1/+1, which is only better with trample and only better with lifelink. So this can make all of your spiders cheaper, which is super good with Cosmic Spider-Man. Shelob, Child of Ungoliant, is 6 mana for an 8/8 spider demon. Death Touch, Ward 2, and other spiders you control have Death Touch, Ward 2. So that means when they attack, all of your spiders have Death Touch, Flying, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, Haste, and Ward 2. First Strike and Death Touch are super good together, because anything they put in the way will instantly die. Whenever another creature dealt damage this turn by a spider across the board, by a spider you control dies, create a token that's a copy of that, except for it's a food. So now you get food for everything else that dies. And you also get the enter the battlefield and the static abilities of those creatures. Death Touch, First Strike, and getting their creatures as food is a lot of value. Thantis, the warweaver, is 3, a black, a red, and a green for a 5/5. Vigilance Reach. All creatures attack each combat if able. Guess what? You're going to want to attack anyway. And whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you can put +++ counter on it. It getting +++ counters is only better whenever it can attack with trample and lifelink. And it having vigilance means that it can act as a blocker, and vigilance is super good with Cosmic Spider-Man because it's like the one ability this card does not grant. It doesn't grant any kind of protection except for First Strike when it's attacking, but it doesn't offer any kind of real protection throughout the entire rest of the game, and it doesn't offer vigilance. So Thantis has vigilance, it has reach, so it can block a lot of things, it can gain new life whenever it attacks, it gets bigger with the game. It's just a good card. And another good card that's also a spider, because it's every creature type, that gets bigger throughout the game is Taurean Mauler. For 3 mana, it's a 2/2. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may put a ++ counter on it. I keep repeating myself, but these +++ counters are super good with trample. They're super good with lifelink, and they scale, so First Strike and flying hits hard. Taurean Mauler is going to do a lot in this deck. Mirror Entity, I know I'm going through a lot of changelings, but I'm going to get back to spiders. 3 mana, it's a 1/1. It's a spider, but you can pay X to have creatures you control have base power and toughness XX and gain all creature types. A lot of the Spider-Man cards from Spider-Man are like 3/3s and 2/3s and 4/3s. Paying 8 mana into this and making all of the spiders that I've named on this list and all the spiders that you're playing in your Spider-Man deck, even if you're playing the uncommon, Spider-Man UK and Spider-Man India, those cards becoming 8/8s with flying, trample, first strike, lifelink, and haste is going to be insane. Mere Entity is also only 3 mana, so you can play it before you even have Cosmic Spider-Man in play. This card is just phenomenal. Twitching Doll is ramp while it's a spider. It's a 2/2 that taps to add 1 mana of any color. Then you can tap, sack it, create a 2/2 spider token with reach for each counter on it, accidental as sorcery. So it's ramp in the beginning of the game, and the later in the game you can cash it in for these spiders. And it's important to note that it doesn't only count the nest counters built up on it, but if you have +1/+1 counters hanging around, or first strike counters, or any kind of the name counters, this would make a 2/2 for those as well. And then all of those 2/2 spiders, including Twitching Doll, still gets all of those incredible buffs: lifelink, haste, trample, first strike, flying. I also want to point out the while you have Cosmic Spider-Man in play, and then you play Twitching Doll, you can immediately tap it for mana if that's helpful to you because it has haste. So Twitching Doll is great because it's ramp, but that's on thing. It is a spider. Arasta of the Endless Web is 4 mana for a 3/5 legendary enchanting creature spider with reach. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery spell, make a 1/2 spider creature token with reach. Now, having a critical mass of spiders is going to be good, especially if you play cards like Cather's Crusade or cards like Coat of Arms that buff every spider for having multiple spiders in play. And if you're playing Coat of Arms, you should definitely play this card. But just having a bunch of 1/2s that can act as blockers when everything else is attacking is going to be great. Or if they can just attack and gain you a couple instances of life. But really, you're going to want them to be used as the blockers when every single one of your other Spider-Man and other spider cards is just hitting hard with Cosmic Spider-Man's abilities. Next, I have Relentless XATM092. For 6 mana, it's a 6/5 robot spider. This creature can't be blocked except for by 3 or more creatures. So it has like Super Menace with all of those other abilities is great because now it has to be blocked by 3 creatures with either reach or flying. And then you can pay 8 mana to return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped with finality counter on it. So it has some kind of built-in recursion, built-in reanimator, plus a 6/5 that has flying, Super Menace, First Strike, Trample, Lifelink, Haste. Super powerful, super strong. I think this is going to be a great card in the deck. Plus, I just want to say, it's all colorless. So you're playing a 5-color deck, and sometimes, let's go back. Arasta has 2 green. That's going to be a little awkward, possibly. Now, green is going to be your builder on color because green can ramp you into everything else. But Relentless costing just colorless is going to be great. Skysnare Spider, it's not very exciting, but I just want to say, you're going to be attacking with all of your Spider-Man creatures and all of your spiders consistently. And having some with Vigilance that can act as a blocker with reach is going to be great. You are not going to be disappointed when you're attacking with a 6/6 flying first strike, trample, vigilance, haste, lifelink that sticks around to be able to block. Now it loses those abilities, but it still has vigilance. So do not sleep on the spiders that have vigilance. Next is Spinner of Souls from Foundations. It's a 4/3 with reach. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So every single time one of your spiders or Spider-Man dies, you just get to cycle off the top of your deck until you get another spider and put it into your hand. That's a lot of value. For 3 mana, that's a lot of value. I mean, that just literally says draw a card that's never a land. Draw a card that's always going to be on theme for your deck. Every single time something dies. Every single non-token you control dies. That's pretty good. I'd be happy with that card. Next, I have Bloodline Pretender. For 3 colorless, it's a 2/2 artifact creature shapeshifter with changeling, so it's a spider. When it enters, you choose a creature type, so you choose spider. Whenever another spider enters under your control, you put a +++ counter on it. This creature getting bigger, just like the Taurean mauler, getting bigger as the game goes on, is only going to wear those abilities from Cosmic Spider-Man better. It's going to be a 2/2 into a 3/3, into a 4/4, into a 5/5, and it's going to continue to generate value as the game goes on. So Bloodline Pretender seems very good. Next, I have Pale Recluse. For 6 mana, it's a 4/5 breach. Not, compared to every other card we've looked at, it's not the most exciting. But it has forest cycling and it has plane cycling. So in the beginning of the game, you can just cycle this away and it can get any forest or plains out of your deck. And I just want to say, it doesn't say basic forest or basic plains. So if you're playing all 10 triomes in this build, the 5 triomes and the 5 tri-lands from Streets of New Capenna, you can search for any except for one, I think, all but one of the triomes you can just go get and have a tap land, which is really good in a 5-color deck. Like, that's exactly what we're going to want. And it's a spider, so later in the game, you can just play this and it's a 4/5 flying first strike, trample, vigilance, haste. That's not bad. And it can be a land. Just cycles for away for a land. So that's a lot of value. But those are the 15 spider cards. from pre-Spider-Man that you should definitely consider putting in your Spider-Man deck. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and may your top decks be ever in your favor. Thank you.